Please remember to like, subscribe and comment, as we love to hear back from our viewers. Also, if you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron of our show through Patreon and or GoFundMe. Links are listed below the video in the description. From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gerry Kissell.
Hey guys, another episode of Pop Culture Minefield with Keith.
And Gerry.
And we're here to talk about, well, you know,
Nerd stuff.
Dirty nerd stuff. No, just nerd stuff. So,
big weekend.
Yes, and we're going to be going to see it. So, happy Friday. And for those of you going to see the Avengers film, enjoy yourselves, because I know we will.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is an all-MCU day to celebrate the release of the film. So we're going to start off with Avengers Endgame, talking about that with Kevin Feige, and some of the news that's popped up, which is, what was it that we're talking about?
Okay, first and foremost, we're going to have all of these, well, different television shows that are coming from the Disney Plus.
That's right. That's what we're talking about, because basically he's undoing all of the previous iterations of Marvel TV shows and making them all tied in, because Keith had explained that it was a one-way relationship between the TV shows, especially like even with the tied-in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Mm-hmm.
but it was tied in only one direction. Anything that trickled down from the Avengers or their individual films could have an effect on the show, but what happened on the show had no effect on what was going on in the films.
Yeah.
So that's all going to change now. The landscape is all interconnected.
Yeah.
And this is because Kevin Feige, in the clever way that he likes to run business. And I you know,
he's
before we do,
he's a total
I saw a really good explanation about Kevin Feige this week, which is you do not get to the position of the head of Marvel and being a nice guy. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but he's not the guy that a lot of people think he is, the ball cap wearing nice guy.
He's not a pushover.
He's not a pushover. He is a businessman that was trained by two hardcore producers in Hollywood who knew how to do business. Not well, but they knew how to do business. So, like I explained, he's a guy that knows how to cut your throat. He just cuts it in a nicer, more polite way, because that's his style. But don't think for a second when you see him shaking his head up and down with some of the stuff you hear that he's actually in agreement. That's just his passive-aggressive way of being. He's very passive-aggressive. I've heard this from a lot of people. Passive-aggressive dude, because he will F you if you tick him off. And but he's got all these shows. So go ahead, because we got a lot of good stuff coming up.
It's WandaVision. And that one's going to be about the Scarlet Witch and Vision. And then you have Winter Soldier and the Falcon, or Falcon and the
Oh my God, I'm so excited about that one. Because my favorite comic when I was a kid, after Batman, was Captain America and the Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of that. You know, because we're not going to get... Because I suspected all along that Bucky was going to become Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect that that's really what this is going to be like.
Maybe.
I mean, he may not be Captain America, but it's that same dynamic.
Yeah, he may just stay, well, not quite Winter Soldier. I'd say White Wolf.
Mm. I know. Sebastian is really good. And the young man that plays Falcon, I don't know him from anything else, but I love him in that role.
Yeah, yeah.
He nails it. I mean, my favorite scene with him to date is still the running around the reflecting pool in D.C. and Captain America just passing him. Just keeps passing him and doing the loops.
Oh, no, mine's from Civil War.
Which scene was that?
The scene inside the small car with Winter Soldier and the Falcon. Could you move your seat back? No.
I love that. Moving on to more Kevin Feige stuff, which is huge news. and it deals with something that he wanted to talk about, which is Disney Plus and the new Scarlet Witch and Vision series.
Yeah.
Because information leaked out about it.
Yeah.
And what was that information?
Well, that it's looking like, at least initially, it's going to be set in the 1950s.
Which makes you just like, what is going to happen in Endgame to have this happen? That she and the Vision end up in the 1950s?
Whatever they want to do, because it is both Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen who actually play the characters in the films, playing these characters on television for Disney Plus. Okay?
And just because it has Disney's name on it, don't think for a second this is going to be G-rated stuff. This is going to still be Marvel. And the thing that I really love about this idea is that I've said, even though the denials were coming out of Marvel, no, we're not. Time travel is not going to be. I believe time travel is going to be part of what they do.
Well, I believe that too.
It's like there's no other way to solve this and bring everybody back, or some of them back, without time travel. And of course, one of the stones is a time stone.
Mm-hmm.
So come on, we're not stupid, Russo brothers. Stop telling us it has no time travel in it. We know it's going to have time travel. We'll find out tomorrow. So we're going to the matinee. But this goes in with bringing up Russo brothers also, which is this is their last film.
Yeah, for now.
That, there's no talks about them doing anything else for Marvel.
Now, they did joke that they would be willing to come back and do a, let's see, what movie did they say they would do? They wanted to do Secret Wars.
Oh, hell yeah. I saw that. But that was on a fan site. Is that for real news?
I keep hearing that's what they said. And they may have either been joking or serious. Although, look, they can come back and do whatever they want. They have knocked it out of the park every single time.
In my opinion, the same thing. But I want to remind people, Marvel's Secret Wars is why I stopped reading comic books. I got so angry over the marketing that they did over that I felt so ill-used by Marvel that I stopped reading comic books and sold 90% of my comics.
Really?
Just got rid of them. Yeah. I had I put an ad in the paper, a comic book collection, and a bunch of people showed up at Patty's in my house out in the country in Stafford, Virginia. And hi, Patty. And Patty is my only ex that is still a close friend of mine. I love her. And she saw me. I was distraught over the Secret Wars because it was such a sneaky thing to do, making you buy the shitty comics that you didn't want to read in order to get the continuation of the story. And then on top of that, doing the multi-cover.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah. They went off on that.
I was like, that's it, I'm done. And I was done with DC too, to be honest with you. Even though they weren't guilty of what Marvel had done, I was just done with comic books. And it was the same year that a friend of mine, it was later in that same year, I was saved. Not religiously, but sort of. I was introduced to the graphic novels.
Yeah.
And went out and bought my first graphic novel before the end of the year. And that's what I've been reading ever since. I want my story arc in one book.
Yeah, now you can't do it any other way.
Yeah, and because they do the trade paperbacks where they do the collected story arcs, and release them as a graphic novel, and I like that. And if I want to read a comic book, that's what I do. Is I wait till the story arc is done, and then I buy it as the full lump sum. But I have very few comics left. Only the Blade Runner related stuff, and I have a Dracula by for the movie Dracula.
Yeah,
Bram Stoker's Dracula that Mike Mignola did. That I loved. It's not a very big book.
Yeah,
but it's a brief adaptation of the film, and it's a pretty good comic. And I love Mike Mignola's artwork. He had a huge impact. Him and Frank Miller.
Yeah,
were the two artists who had the biggest impact on me as I transitioned into doing comics. And so you'll find a lot of my old artwork looks very much like Frank Miller's or Mike Mignola's. But Disney's Scarlet Witch taking place in the 50s just makes me wonder, what I mean, it's not going to be I Love Lucy. Like, what do we got that's going to be happening?
Here's the other thing. I forgot to mention in our little overview of all the Disney shows that are coming, all the MCUs.
Right.
We also have Loki. And that one's
yeah.
Yeah, that one's going to be about Loki and his influence on different periods of human history.
Yeah, it's sort of like anti-Doctor Who.
That's good. I like that.
He's the anti-Doctor Who. But he won't have a sonic screwdriver, so.
No.
I don't know why I held that up like I had one. Anyway.
But this is, and also the Hawkeye series with Jerry Renner. So.
Yeah, and I just saw something about that he has a power. And I'm like, I wonder what that power is, other than just to hit anything with something that he throws or shoots. I mean, is that going to be it? Because now this is going to bring up something else that we're going to be talking about, which is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to bring something up before we talk about that, but it has a deep impact on Spider-Man, is that there's a theory, fan theory, and I'm not a fan of fan theories. I'm really not. I'm not anti them. I have no interest in them. Except when they pull up something that when you look at it, you go, whoa, wait a minute. And it's that damn drawing in Homecoming.
Now, if you go back and you watch the movie Spider-Man Homecoming, what we're actually talking about is the scene where Michael Keaton's character is first introduced. Okay?
Yep.
If you go back and just sort of like carefully peruse that scene and pause it, he's got a drawing there that was
a child's drawing
that was drawn by his daughter. If you pause it at the right time, you're going to get an opportunity to see the entire drawing, which is the Avengers and the Battle of New York, which is what Michael Keaton's character is cleaning up.
There is some crazy stuff in that drawing.
Yes.
And it has to do with what they're wearing,
mm-hmm.
how they're wearing it, and what's coming out of that hole in space looks like a spider. But is it a spider? The theory is that it's actually one of those ships, possibly Thanos. And this has to do with the time travel aspect again. That Spider-Man Homecoming is actually an alternate universe that was created because of what the Avengers do in Endgame.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I like this theory. Because when you look at it, Hawkeye's not wearing his costume correctly.
Yeah, this is the child's drawing.
Yeah, child's drawing.
When you pause it and you look at the drawing, what you get is Iron Man's...
Well, first, I want to point out, Hawkeye is way over on one side, and he's wearing a different costume than what he wore, and he's got the bandolier of ammo, and he's holding a sword, not a bow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's a sword, which is something he carries later.
And then you have Iron Man's armor looks exactly like the armor that
the diamond shape.
Yeah, that he's wearing in Infinity War, and not the armor that he had in
the actual
Avengers movie.
Right.
Okay? And then you have also the shape of his hands that look slightly different.
They're on fire.
Yeah, which means, or on fire or just spiky. It could be the whole technology that he uses for being able to alter parts of his costume, which of course wasn't something that he didn't have until around the time of Infinity War. So that was definitely not a thing. The other thing is Captain America's costume and the fact that
the black star, and it's got the black star on the shield, which we haven't seen yet, but we've seen the black star.
Yeah.
Which is after, again, the events that took place
in Infinity War.
So it's like, holy crap, is this fan theory? It's over on Reddit. You can look it up.
Yep.
It's an interesting fan theory, and it's really good eye. Whoever caught that is like, holy smokes, they caught something.
And some nerds just
stupid
don't have
nerds.
Lives. They don't have lives. They like to peruse everything.
Frame by frame.
Frame by frame.
See right there, laser blast. One frame. Actually, I'm referencing Blade Runner. Because people didn't catch it in this scene where Brian James' character, Leon, shoots Holden at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And I said, no, there is a laser blast. It's one single frame. And you can catch it if you go frame by frame. And people have done it. They've gone and looked, and when he fires the gun shooting Holden, there's this one purple blast coming out. And I wrote an entire article on what the gun was. The gun is a black hole gun. That's why it's so dark purple coming out. It's firing antimatter into his body, causing whatever it strikes to implode on itself. It's a violent way to die. Anyway, completely unrelated, but
nasty bit of business.
That's my nerd side coming out. So, Spider-Man Far From Home, just like Homecoming, is actually an alternate universe, which is probably why we see things happening like with Nick Fury, his involvement, instead of Iron Man. Something's going to happen, and I'm wondering if that's going to be Iron Man sacrificing himself. We don't know. We'll know tomorrow. Well,
some of us will. And that's the other thing. Be careful. Be good this weekend. It's great to go out and have fun, but some people, not everybody's going to be able to see this movie at the same time, so there are still going to be...
Shut up is what he's getting to. Shut the F up. Don't walk out the door going, I can't believe that happened. Or you can be like me and just make up something bogus and walk out going, I can't believe that she became a dude. That was so weird. They like gender flipped right in the middle of the movie.
I can't believe Iron Man is really the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. So Spider-Man Far From Home, I'm looking forward to that film getting released. I like the dynamic of certain things that are within it. Like the relationship by his aunt and the driver. Tony Stark.
And that was always a question for me when I first saw that first teaser trailer they released. So if it turns out that there was some monkey business with time travel, that could explain the fact that these two are in a relationship now.
Yeah. It's like, hey, wait a minute, something changed? And of course, last but not least, the important thing for the MCU are two bits of news. One, Stan Lee's last thing, alliances.
Yeah, it's called Alliances: A Trick of the Light. It's an audio drama, or it's basically it's a new universe of heroes and other things that Stan Lee has created. You'll be able to get be able to listen to this Stan Lee's Alliances: A Trick of the Light, which he co-created with Luke Lieberman and Ryan Silbert, and invites listeners to unleash the power of their own imagination and bring to life an epic superheroes origin story set within the tech-centric, highly connected world, unnervingly reminiscent of our own.
Woo-hoo. So there's that, and then of course the second bit of news is it came out, the return of the Netflix MCU characters.
Yeah.
Daredevil, Luke Cage,
Jessica
Jones. What is it? Jennifer? Jessica Jones. And
Iron
Fist. But we've talked about this before.
The Punisher too.
Oh, and the Punisher, Jesus.
Yeah.
We got to see a return of these. But the odds are they're going to be recast. It's not going to be the actors that we grew to love on the Netflix MCU, which sucks, but that's the cold, hard reality of Kevin Feige. I told you, Kevin Feige looks like the nicest guy in the world, but he's also kind of a dick. And this is where it's going to come out. You'll find out if he's a really loving dude or not. If he's a loving dude, he's going to have at least some of the cast come back from the Netflix shows. If he's a hardcore producer dick, we'll never see them. And that's business. That's just the way it's done. I'm not going to be angry either way. My anger was directed at the shows getting canceled in the first place.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it is what it is. But with that, you got anything else you want to add?
I think we've reached the end, my friend.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we have nothing else to do. We'll just sit here.
What will our heroes
just sit
talk
here
about?
Doing nothing.
Well.
Oh, we might eat.
There we go.
Anyway, that's the end of Pop Culture Minefield with Keith
and Gary.
And we'll be back tomorrow.
Same geek time.
Same geek channel.
Don't forget,
smash the like button. Please. We're so lonely. See you guys. Y'all come back now.